Welcome back. Prime Minister Allen Chastanet is lamenting the backlash that has followed the announcement of the suspension of fishing licenses with immediate effect. The PM says the backlash is being fueled by the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party and that their aims to create mischief is marring a well-intended action plan to fight the spread of COVID-19. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
The opposition St. Lucia Labour Party has been admonished by the island's Prime Minister Allen Chastanet for using mischief to incite unrest once again, this time amongst the island's fisherfolk. On Friday, the PM addressed the nation following intense deliberations at a NEMAC meeting on Thursday. There, he announced that fishing licenses were to be suspended with immediate effect. This announcement did not go down lightly, leaving fisherfolk up in arms, and in addition to this, the SLP chimed in, blasting the decision. On Monday morning, whilst addressing the matter with the local press, the PM called out the opposition for using the matter to stir up unrest in order to gain political mileage.
I continue to be very disappointed in the opposition. The leader of the opposition gets paid a salary equivalent to a minister. The state pays for his office and his staff, and also he gets a driver. So if he wants to participate in the decisions and have criticisms, come to the meetings. I mean, those who were at the NEMAC meeting that we had, there were recommendations that were made at the meeting by the chamber and some of the other institutions. And we amended right there on the floor before we went to our final cabinet meeting and also to the press conference. NEMAC is intended to provide that opportunity to the opposition and to all of civil society. So I think that the opposition needs to really regather itself and figure out where it wants to go. Because one day they want me to shut down the country, the next day they want me to open up the country. One day they're concerned about this, the next day they're concerned about something completely opposite.
Going back to the main issue at hand, being the plight of the fisherfolk who took umbrage to the immediate decision to suspend their licenses, the PM said this decision was not taken lightly. He said whilst fisherfolk make valuable contributions to the country, there are issues at play in need of addressing.
The decision or the need to make an immediate decision came out of two factors. Well, actually three factors. One was that Martinique announced a close down of its own borders. And we felt that that would increase the number of persons who wanted to come to St. Lucia. Secondly, in the investigations that we have been undertaking, reports continuously come back to us that persons are bringing people in illegally up to last week. And I find that shocking because I think that any solution can see for themselves the impact that that's happened.
The PM said in the end, there is a strong need for collaboration rather than division.
The need to have suspended licenses was important to allow the Marine Police to get back on top of the situation and to have dialogue, which already started today and over the weekend, with the fisherfolk on how we're going to collectively resolve this issue. They have some concerns with regards to economics, which we will address, but we also have concerns as a state from a security perspective. The state, it's no secret, by itself cannot manage the borders by ourselves. And the fisherfolk need to act as part of our security force.
Prime Minister Chastanet reiterated that the fisherfolk are indeed a priority, not just for the government of St. Lucia, but for the people as well. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Over the weekend, the island recorded 6 cases of COVID-19. 5 were already in quarantine thanks to contact tracing efforts by health officials. Nisha Charles tells us more.
No sooner had the officials announced new measures to curtail the spread of COVID-19, St. Lucia recorded an additional 6 cases of the virus. On Sunday, November 1, 2020, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belma George revealed that the number of confirmed cases on island had risen to 84.
Case number 79 is a 44-year-old male from the Babonneau district. Case number 80 is a 33-year-old female from the Vieux Fort district. Case number 81 is a 65-year-old female from the Castries district. Case number 82 is a 4-year-old male from the Vieux Fort district. Case number 83 is a 27-year-old female from the Castries district. Case number 84 is a 62-year-old female from the Vieux Fort district.
Epidemiological links were established in 5 of these cases. Case number 79 is linked to case number 65. Case number 80, 82, and 84 are linked to case number 59, and case number 81 is linked to case number 50. Arrangements have been made for the transfer of these individuals into care at the respiratory hospital. During an update to the nation on Friday, the Honorable Prime Minister Alan Chastanet unveiled a list of new protocols which residents should be guided by, including the reduction in the number of people at mass crowd events to 25, the closure of establishments by 9 p.m., and a work-from-home order where possible. The Chief Medical Officer urged residents to be guided by these new protocols.
We ask all who will be within their work environments, commuting via public transportation, going into public places to transact business, or going through their routine daily activities to be on a higher level of awareness. Ensure that in undertaking all of your activities that you remain aware of the need to act in ways that will reduce the risk of being exposed to the COVID-19 virus. Our behaviors to prevent exposure to the virus do not only benefit us personally. Our behaviors also benefit our families, our colleagues, our neighbors, and our friends.
The new protocols will be in effect until the end of November 2020. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
On Friday the 30th of October, the St. Lucia Met Services issued a flash flood warning for the island, declaring that heavy rainfall over the past 24 hours had raised the possibility of flooding and landslides in parts of the island prone to those hazards. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, alerted the district disaster committees to the impending system. With continued rainfall throughout the weekend, it was clear that widespread flooding had taken place.
As the heavy rain subsided late Sunday, the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, along with its district disaster committees, assessed the damage caused over the past few days. The communities of Dennery, Labrie, Castries, Bexo, and Beauséjour-Gros-Islet were among those affected by either flooding or landslides. NEMO's director, Doreen Gustave, gave a synopsis of the damage Monday morning.
In the Dennery area, Dennery village especially, the village was underwater, something that happens every time there is heavy rain. And I know the people of Dennery have suffered quite a bit because of their location. They're low-lying, there is the sea, there is the hills on all sides that surrounding them, so the water is converging onto the village from all sides. So it is the situation that they're faced with. We have an early warning system in there. We were trying to upgrade it to a multi-hazard early warning system, and the one thing that is missing to make it a multi-hazard early warning system is a siren. We have gotten approval from the World Bank under the DVRP for that siren. So soon we will be installing the siren in Dennery village.
While the community of Bexo is prone to flooding during heavy rains, Gustave says that this time the community fared better.
So Bexo proper, there was just very little water flowing through. However, in Mac, Crownlands area, the bridge was flooded and there was silt there. So there was desilting taking place about 12:30. I did visit some of the areas to see what has happened. You know, I live in Forest and it's close to me, so I did drive around to see some of the damage, and I, of course, would have gone to Mac, because we know that this is the area that suffers the most. But there was some mitigation measures that took place in Mac, the small drains project, and it looks like it's working.
The flood waters also left 2 homes submerged in Beauséjour-Gros-Islet. While that weather system has passed, residents are asked to remain vigilant as we are still in the hurricane season. The official hurricane season ends on November 30, 2020. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
On Sunday, Soufriere fire officers were summoned to the scene of a fire that had engulfed 2 structures in the town. The dwelling house of an alleged mentally unstable individual was reduced to ashes. This is the second fire in a matter of 1 week in the town. Firefighters also battled a blaze in Leclerc on Sunday. Genevieve Gonzague has more.
While majority of the island was dealing with the effects of prolonged rainfall and a drop in temperature, fire service personnel in Soufriere was summoned to the scene of a fire in the wee hours of Sunday. Just last week, fire officials were summoned to Fosséjap after 2 family structures were engulfed by fire, also in the wee hours of the morning. Fire service spokesperson Stacey Joseph gave the details of Sunday's blaze in the scenic town.
Officers at the Soufriere Fire Station responded to a call on Sunday, 1st November, at approximately 5:15 a.m. The information received stated that there was a fire in 2 residential structures on Dillier Street in Soufriere. Emergency personnel found the dwelling structures of wood and concrete construction measuring approximately 18 by 18 feet and 28 by 11 feet engulfed in flames. Utilizing 2 fire appliances, the crews extinguished the fire with no damage to neighboring properties.
No one was reportedly injured as a result of the fire. Meanwhile, another fire occurred in Leclerc on Sunday.
On Sunday, 1st November at approximately 2 a.m., the fire service received a call informing of a structural fire in Leclerc, Castries. The responding officers found a 2-story structure of concrete and wood construction ablaze. The structure, which was reported as being vacant, measured approximately 16 by 20 feet. Using 2 fire appliances, the fire was extinguished with little difficulty. No other properties or persons were reported injured as it relates to this incident.
The fire service also had to deal with a myriad of other calls, 3 of which were physical assault calls. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Citizens of the United States will be headed to the polling stations in the millions on Tuesday to decide whether current President Donald Trump will retain his position for the Republicans or whether the tides will turn to blue with a victory for Democratic hopeful Joe Biden. The St. Lucian government will join the rest of the world in eyeing the mega event, as according to them, the momentous occasion is due to have major impact on the immediate future of tourism in St. Lucia, depending on who comes out victorious. Rochelle Gonzalez has more.
There is little doubt that all attention will be turned to the leaders of the free world, the United States, on Tuesday, as American citizens take to the polls to vote in a new president. On Monday, Prime Minister Alan Chastanet as well as Tourism Minister Dominic Fedee spoke of the anticipation of the big event and the impact that the results will have on St. Lucia. Prime Minister Chastanet stated that the U.S. is St. Lucia's biggest political influencer, and so, taking a middle-of-the-road stance, he said his administration will be willing to work with whomever comes out of the race victorious.
St. Lucia has a very good relationship with America, and we're, like everybody else, waiting to see what's going to happen. I think it's very difficult to judge or make predictions on elections these days. What makes this election even more interesting is the number of people. I think it's as much as 60% of the voting population has already voted. And that's very, very interesting what's taking place in the U.S. at this point. Obviously, you have 2 very different ideologies at play here. And we wait to see what the decision of the public of America is going to be, and whichever one it is, we will obviously work with whichever administration wins the elections.
Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Fedee indicated that the immediate future of the industry, where the inflow of U.S. visitors is concerned, depends heavily on who wins.
If the government changes, we are not sure what is going to happen in terms of a lockdown. And that is something that we need to keep our eyes open to. Should there be a lockdown in the United States as well, it would mean that there are quarantine requirements in Canada. There is a lockdown in the UK. And really, the only market available to us. So let's hope and pray that the situation in the US will continue to remain open so that we can have as little disruption as possible to our economic recovery.
As of Monday, November 2nd, over 60% of Americans had already cast their votes for the Donald Trump versus Joe Biden race. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Stay with us. Still to come, the Employers Federation backs calls for businesses to allow employees to work from home where possible, and government reaction to the UK's impending lockdown.